It was teasing us for a second.
Are we live?
I believe we're live.
Sweet.
Hello, everyone.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Awesome Hardware. Sorry we're a little late today. Just getting some things situated, last minute stuff. It always gets pretty chaotic when we get down to the wire. But we are here yet again. We are resuming from about 2 weeks ago when we had our last proper show. Last week, right. I was a little out of order at Coachella, and I got a really bad case of food poisoning, so we decided to do some, actually Paul decided to do some GTA 5 streaming for a bit.
I did.
And I heard that was pretty fun. I joined in for a little while, but I was still not 100% recovered.
I feel like you should move closer to me.
Okay.
That or I should move
Paul,
the camera.
you just have to tell me, how you feel.
We didn't...
If you want me to be closer to you, you just...
You can even put your mouse here if you wanted to.
Wow, I'm getting really close to that.
Just trying to keep things a little bit more intimate on this particular episode of Awesome Hardware. By the way, if this is your first time tuning in, thanks for joining us. But just to quickly explain how our little show works is we do it in two halves. The first half is Kyle's half. This week at least, and the second half will be my half. If you're watching this in the future, the first half is going to be on Kyle's channel, which is Awesome Sauce Network, and the second half is going to be on my channel, which is Paul's Hardware. So at the end of this one,
you're getting better at knowing what the name of my channel is.
Eventually, I will get it down every single time.
Yes.
What else do we talk about at the beginning? We should at least quickly reference why we didn't do a show last week.
Well, I kind of went over that briefly.
Kyle, fortunately, he's received a clean bill of health.
Yes.
The reverse herpes has totally cleared up.
That's right.
Actually, pretty amazing how quick his recovery was.
But it'll be back.
It will be.
It never really goes away.
That's true.
So.
You carry that shit with you for your entire life.
It reverses.
Like luggage. Okay.
Yep.
But please drink please, Enfen, Nick, thanks for joining us, Nick, by the way.
Nick
Says, please drink a marijuana beer in honor of All Saints Weed Day.
I don't know of any marijuana beers, but I would try one.
This is an interesting crossover. He's like Halloween, the day after Halloween is All Saints Day.
Yeah.
So yesterday was 420.
Right.
And then today apparently is...
Just mashing it all together.
Actually, you know what today actually is National Drug Testing Day. I discovered that yesterday, yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that that's a reason to drink,
Cheers, hey.
Because we're testing this alcohol right
Cheers
now.
to all you guys out there.
Making sure it's good enough for all of you to drink.
Celebrating safely in your own, however you particularly like to.
I like how you said that was an interesting crossover, because, a marijuana beer is like you're cross-fading, almost. So
that is true.
I see what you unintentionally did there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're glad to be back, and we have a whole show planned for you guys today. And is that all we needed to talk about at the beginning? Should we tell people to buy shirts?
That's
usually something we do.
Hey,
everyone buy
always
shirts.
tell people to buy shirts.
Yeah.
We each have our own separate channels, or our own separate stores that you can go to. His is paulshardware.net.
Not that I have it up or anything. No,
you totally...
I don't.
Oh, well, yes.
No,
you should be more prepared, Paul.
I should, but I don't. All right. You can buy shirts from me.
Sell yourself more.
Yeah, I know.
Like a good whore. And my store's name is awesomesaucenetwork.com/store, which you can hit up to buy some shirts and stuff like that.
Fantastic shirts.
We both have some stuff coming up soon in our stores, our respective stores, so stay tuned for that as well. Little tease. I don't want to give too much away, but
yeah, we've been teasing that for a little bit. It's coming soon, eventually, hopefully soon. But yes, stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you can buy the shirts that are already there. That's highly recommended.
What are you drinking there, by the way? You got a fancy beer. You always have fancy beers.
I have a new fancy beer.
Making me feel like a...
This one, the last time I had a fancy beer, I had to thank Jenny for it, and now I have to thank Jenny for this beer again.
Nice.
Thank you, Jenny.
Did she buy it for you, or did she recommend it?
She bought this for me because
nice.
it was in proximity to my birthday, and so she got this for me. This is a Golden Monkey Triple. It's not... I should be staying about 3/4 as smashed as I did when I drank the quad a few weeks back.
Really? Did you calculate that based on the
because it's
percentage?
Triple versus quad.
Then you're
actually no. This one's 9.5%. So we'll see how I do.
Then
anyway, I'm gonna pop this up.
Best of luck to you.
Oh, What's Daddingly Felon tried the Arrogant Bastard for the first time the other night. It is.
Oh, congrats.
It is. It's almost as though you're not even worthy to drink that beer. So, that's what it says in the bottle.
Stone needs you in their marketing team.
They do.
They really need
I'm hoping maybe eventually some of these places will see us drink their beer and be like, hey, we should send them free beer. That'd be sweet. That's
Sponsored
not our goal, but
it's
just one of those things.
And in case you guys were interested and wondering, I'm drinking a very classy Newcastle. It is a brown ale. It's been established. It was established in 1927.
He's got the Newcastle can,
That's
but
right.
he did pour it into a glass.
I did.
He's a gentleman.
Because I'm classy like that.
I'm gonna move my beer. Okay.
You got more, don't you?
I don't know where the
you
other
take
ones
the
went.
crappy coaster.
I'll take the crappy
for your
coaster.
for your awesome beer.
This coaster
Take
came with
this nice one for the Newcastle.
This came with a piece of hardware I got, but now I forget which one it was. It was weird. Anyway,
Interesting.
we're just rambling a lot at the beginning of the show today.
So last announcement before we get into it, I promise, is that my laptop is working. Last
good.
stream that we did, remember, at the
Oh, yeah,
very
I
end,
didn't
I
even
spilled
realize
beer
that.
completely, like, all over my laptop. It literally was from end to end, all over the keys and the touchpad.
Hold on.
I even posted
there
you go. I even posted a little vlog about it last week, documenting the experience for those of you that missed it. But so far, I'm happy to report that everything's functioning properly, which is really nice to see.
That's good.
I did have a little scare, though, at one point. I went to turn on the computer, and I was using it just the other day, and the space bar was totally stuck.
Oh dear.
It wasn't working at all. It was completely stuck to the bottom, so just some residual stickiness from the booze that I was drinking. But I spammed it enough times and just got the stickiness out. I got it all out of its system. So
And now it has like a nice smooth finish with some caramel notes,
it does.
as well as
It does. It's very malty.
yes, it has a malty
Very malty laptop now.
aroma.
Yeah. But just thought I'd give you guys an update there. So why don't we get into our first segment on my half of the show, which is it's a new one.
What is it?
It's a new one, and it's probably a little time sensitive due to the time.
Oh yeah.
It's a GTA Every Day is the segment that I'm calling.
Yeah. I don't have a
Because-
title for it. Let's use a different title. Let's use Face Off.
Oh yeah, we don't have title cards for the
use
new segments.
Face Off.
We're scrambling a bit. But that's okay.
But it's actually GTA Every Day. Pretend it says GTA Every Day at the bottom of the screen. But
Yeah.
let's go over. You have an intro for this one, right?
I do.
That you wanted us to play?
Well, it's not like an intro. I just thought I would start this segment off with this video, which actually my future brother-in-law shared with me the other day. I thought it was hilarious. I shared it on Twitter, so some of you guys probably already saw it. But it's just completely fan-made. It didn't really go that viral. It only has 66,000 views, so I figured a lot of you probably haven't seen it. But I just busted up when I watched it for the first time.
I hope the audio isn't blasting you guys right now.
Let us know.
I don't have levels for us or... Oh, yeah, it's coming out a little bit.
Oh,
But I don't even have levels for us.
that's not good.
That's weird.
Well, it's a new show.
Yeah.
We're still getting the kinks out.
Anyway, we're...
Okay, so as you can
Are
see,
we watching-
that's a big beefy PC
Yeah.
who's lamenting over not having GTA 5 in his life, but all the other consoles have their GTA 5 children with them. Mm-hmm. And then look at this Rockstar.
Gave the nod.
I love
Rockstar gave the
Look,
nod.
He looks at his watch.
Oh,
It's time.
I was premature. I watched this earlier, so I knew he was going to nod. Sorry if I spoiled that for any of you guys. It's an interesting PC they use there, though. That's clearly
It's like a Dell.
Yeah.
Yes, I used
It's
to
like
have
a
I used to have that computer, and it
Dell.
could not run GTA 5.
Like 2002, 2003 range.
That's why they have to
I think.
label it on the side beefy computer, so you know.
Oh, it sounds good. Wow, this is fantastic. Yeah,
Sounds great. That is something that we never hear on the show.
that's true.
This is a first.
All right,
So very touching, very
we
sentimental.
just ripped this whole video for our show, by the way.
Yep.
All right, everyone go to YZ's channel.
Wiesies.
WIEZIESZ, because he made this video. It's gonna autoplay.
Thank you,
another one.
YZZs.
And he did a good job, and it was fun.
Yep.
So,
But that's how I wanted to start it off, just because it is finally here.
it is at last.
That's
And
the
we've
important
played
thing.
as much of it as we possibly can.
We have. I've definitely gotten my fill so far, but I'm not done, and I know you're not either.
Nope.
And we definitely have a lot more to do in that game, because there is so much that you can do and run around and stuff. But I wanted to talk about just some small articles, nothing groundbreaking or really exciting, but just, they relate to the game itself. And the game has been such a huge thing that's been so highly anticipated lately that I just kind of wanted to give it some more exposure. So first off, and I know a lot of you guys are playing GTA 5 currently. I'm probably sure I play with a handful, like Paul and I both play with a handful of you guys that are in the chat right now.
Oh, they're a handful.
Oh, they're a handful. That's right. That's for sure.
Oh,
Pick
whoops,
my
wrong
words
button.
wisely. So first off, for those of you who are playing, you'd be excited to know that there was a patch that launched yesterday. For those of you watching us live, if you're watching the re-upload, that's 2 days ago, assuming you're watching the re-upload the day that it was uploaded.
If you're watching the day after that, though, it might have
It's
been
like
3 days
2
ago.
or 3 days, yeah.
From there, you can extrapolate
just
out.
keeps.
on
We'll make an
into
algorithm
infinity.
for you to figure
What
out.
is this?
April
Why is
21st.
that there?
The patch 335.1 or 1.02 kind of goes by 2 different names. A little confusing.
This is patch 1.01, though.
That's because I didn't update the link.
Did you give me 2 articles?
I didn't update the link.
Is there more than one link?
No.
Oh no! I showed everyone the new article. All right, that's fine. Then we'll just talk. You guys just watch us while Cal talks about it.
They'll get a nice shot of Trevor.
That one is an example of what a GTA article on a patch update might look like if it was patch 1.02.
Yes.
Not 1.01.
What you said. So there were, like any big release these days, it's not going to be perfect. I mean, we've all heard horror stories from other games like SimCity, right? EA dropping the ball on that. It wasn't as bad with GTA 5. It wasn't to that degree, but there were some quirks and a lot of bugs that made some people unhappy. So,
all right, I haven't stated this publicly yet because I knew it would probably spoil everything, but I'm going to now. Knock on wood. I have had no problems.
Neither have I.
Okay.
Yes.
Knocking on wood right there.
Neither have I. But I know a lot of other people that have, and even people that we play with.
I've gotten booted from maybe 1 or 2 online game sessions, but I was able to rejoin immediately.
Yeah.
But yes, there are other people who've been having issues, whether you're talking online or playing the game live.
Right. And another thing is that a lot of the bugs were very specific. So this recent patch fixed an issue where players could become stuck in the clouds when voting to quick restart the Humane Labs heist.
Oh.
Which is very specific. So you would never even know anything was wrong unless you were in that scenario. But other things that were included in the patch that were solved is that players can no longer purchase more vehicles than their properties can store. Which usually when you think of a patch, they're good things. But I feel like this is oh no, they fixed something that was kind of cool. It was kind of broken, and then they patched it. So you can't do that anymore.
That was like a glitch that you could get extra cars.
Yeah, you could buy a 5-car garage and save a sixth car in it.
Oh, okay.
Somehow,
that seems more like an exploit than a glitch.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Okay.
Players can all now launch a video card benchmark from the main menu, which I didn't know.
No.
I don't know if you've dabbled in this. You did a recent video on GTA.
That was
5
there.
Benchmarks. That was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been
before
there.
The patch.
I think that was there before the patch. I feel like that was there on launch day.
From the main menu?
Because I didn't do any benchmarking on launch day. I just did that. I streamed for those of you who were with me last week, 1 week ago today. Thank you, because I streamed GTA 5 for 6 hours and 40 minutes or something like that.
Hardcore.
It was just, I was like, wow, how did that even happen? But that
easily, actually.
Yeah, it actually flew by. It was loads of fun though. But yeah,
well,
I thought on that day
Paul.
that Jason Evangelo from Forbes. He was tweeting about benchmarking and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, you're benchmarking. I'm just playing the game."
Loser.
I know. Of course, he got me back later in the week when I was benchmarking for the MSI video card video that I did. But yeah, I feel like that benchmark was there day one. So it's a fine little benchmark.
Well, maybe maybe it wasn't available for everyone given certain stipulations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I mean, there's just a ton. The list is huge with these patches. It's such an expansive game that with each patch, there's so many different revisions and solutions that come into place. But Windows Media Player is no longer required to install GTA 5.
Well, that's fantastic.
Instead, Windows Media Foundation will now be required.
Oh.
Which I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
I almost like it better with Windows Media Player because it comes with Windows 8.
A solid structure upon which to build your gaming platform or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
So for those of you who haven't checked it out yet and are playing the game, go ahead and download patch 1.02 or 335.1. They are the same. Again, they're the same patch. They just go by different names. Additionally, another thing I wanted to talk about was the GTA 5 Snow mod. This is completely user-made.
Oh yeah.
Completely fan-made. This is when the mods start rolling out. The game's only been around for a week now, and we're already getting some pretty sweet mods. For being a fan-made mod, this looks pretty good. I mean, the snow looks really good. It really covers everything from the characters to the cars. All the foliage and the wildlife and stuff like that is all covered pretty nicely, and it just looks cool.
And that's all cocaine.
That is all blow.
Okay.
Just a lot of blow. It's the blow mod.
I thought,
download at your own risk.
That's the one thing I thought when I played GTA 5 for the first time. I was like, this game could use more drugs somehow in there.
All the characters get more confident.
I'm gonna sneeze. Apologies.
You're a loud sneezer.
Apologies, headphone wearers. I tried to do that away from the mic.
Rest in peace.
I could have covered my mouth too, but that would have been dangerous. My head might have exploded.
But yeah, so this is a really cool mod. You keep in mind though, you should download these types of mods that are not made by Rockstar themselves at your own risk. Because who knows what's in the files, right? I mean, there could be some kind of weird malware, whatever it is. But you can also check reviews, what people have said.
There's even snow on the character.
There's snow on the character. I said that. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Snow on the bullets as they fly through the air. Now, is this purely an aesthetic thing, or does it actually affect the gameplay? Like, or are they just kind of taking the?
It's just aesthetic.
Like
I don't think it affects driving at all.
It'd be pretty early for something like that to happen.
But it's purely aesthetics. But it's cool because you can even see the powder shoot out from underneath the cars when they rev up and when they burn out or whatever.
It's like you could be killing cops in a winter wonderland.
I know. And if you ever wanted to know what it's like for it to snow in LA, which, you know, neither of us have ever experienced that while we've been living here, this is a good way to check it out. So I thought that was kind of cool. But it's also interesting because since these mods are so new and the game is so new still, it's kind of, I'm curious to see how Rockstar is going to respond to users who use mods like this. If there's going to be any consequence, if they're going to ban people. I hope not, because I could see myself downloading this and have some fun with it.
So this article is from GameSpot, by the way, guys. The modder's name is ECB2. It's called Snow in GTA Online, and
what a weird name.
I know, strange. And the link here for the download, if you guys are interested, is www.gta5-mods.com/misc/snow in GTA Online with dashes.
Thank you,
I'm
Paul.
sure there's lots of people who are writing that down frantically right now.
Of course.
Okay. We have more GTA news?
Last GTA bit that I want to talk about today is just a little article comparing the different graphics settings in-game.
Okay.
Just on PC. Not graphics between console and PC, but literally just the PC graphics settings that you can switch between.
Was this the one you wanted audio for or not?
No.
Okay.
It was the first one. We already got the audio out of the way.
It's already set.
So basically this guy, Willie Extreme is a YouTuber, and he made this video basically just comparing the different settings and how they look in game. So this one is like, I saw the biggest difference with this. This is actually the reflection off of a window.
Okay.
And if you scroll back a little bit to when it was on normal settings, yeah, that's perfect. You could really see the difference. I mean, you can't see crap as it is right now on normal, and then once he just cranks it up to high, you get start to get some textures there. And then it gets even better as you go up, obviously.
I see.
So that's really cool. The video is 10 minutes long. It's really extensive. I mean, after a minute or two, you kind of get the point. But he does do a lot of different environments, which is nice to see. But the more important thing I want to talk about is that he also made a lot of observations during this testing in regards to which settings you actually need and which ones are more taxing on your hardware. So he kind of like lays it out at the end. So I just wanted to go over some of those because I'm curious about this myself. Okay. So I'm sure some of you guys are as well.
So now is when you guys should be taking notes.
Now you take notes, or just listen to what I'm saying. Ambient occlusion, he found, is usually just a waste of FPS, so don't be afraid to turn that off.
Okay.
Good to know.
No ambient occlusion.
Anisotropic filtering does not affect performance, strangely enough.
So crank it.
So always set to X16.
That's at 16x by default, so if you've turned that down to try to save some FPS, maybe turn it back up.
Yeah, exactly. Post effects on very high and ultra look similar, but ultra sometimes can reduce FPS by 10 or more. So just play around with that at your own risk. Grass quality is a performance killer.
Oh yeah. That's especially in grassy areas. Believe
of
it or
course,
not,
yes.
Where you're in a field with lots of grass. Yeah. Yeah, guys, especially if you're on limited hardware. I know there's been a lot of people who've been asking us questions like, I have a 750 Ti, I have a 77, an older generation card. But yeah, these are the things where you can sort of tweak those down. And honestly, when it's not there, like grass effects, like you don't notice it as much when it's not there. Like having a smooth gameplay experience is much better.
Exactly.
So
and then there's two more here. This is something that I noticed very much so, is that extended distance scaling has little effect on the quantity of details, but makes a huge reduces performance greatly.
Oh yeah, but
you take a huge hit.
But that's like the one that I actually want to turn up as much as I can if possible. Wait, distance scaling.
Scaling.
Oh, not draw distance. Okay.
Not draw distance.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's another good option there.
Yep. And some shadows maybe you can only see on very high shadow quality, which is kind of expected. But more in particular, like some of the shadows that are cast from like car headlights,
Okay.
Sometimes those will not even show up at all if it's not on very high.
No, I see.
So if you kind of want that extra level of detail, especially if you're driving at night, where shadows are more apparent, then that's something to keep in mind.
Okay.
Also, in the article, which we will be...
You got the article?
Yeah, the article's right there. If you guys want to check that out. He also goes over a lot of details and recommended settings. Recommended graphic settings, setting by setting.
You mean in the description of the video?
Not the video description, the actual article.
I didn't see an article.
He lays it out.
You didn't link me an article.
I didn't link you an article?
All I got is the YouTube link for graphic settings comparison.
Well, I fail. But
Sorry.
yeah, if you guys want to check out the article, you can research it or just wait for the re-upload where we have all the source links.
Or just go to Willie Extreme with
Willie
one
Extreme.
L. WILIE.
Yep.
Extreme.
Yep.
He's got a YouTube channel, and you can watch that video.
But he lists out all the recommended graphic settings based on the spec of your PC. So he'll be like, if you have a mid-range PC, these are the settings you should set the game at. If you have a high-end PC, go with these settings, which is pretty useful.
Fantastic.
Or you can get GeForce Experience.
You could get GeForce Experience. I never get GeForce Experience,
Yeah.
and it's not because I don't like it or anything like that. It's just because it's not for me. They made it for people who don't immediately go into every game they install and like tweak the graphic settings.
Yeah.
Also, if you're doing stuff like benchmarking, like you don't want it to go in and try to mess with your graphic settings. So
just disable it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right. So that wraps it up for the GTA segment, GTA every day, and I might throw this segment back in there if any big GTA 5 news comes to light within the next few weeks. But
we should do one on like we'll give it a month or two, and then we'll come back and do one on mods. Because I'm gonna want to start checking out some mods. Once people start coming out with them. And it'd be cool to like try a bunch and then come back and say like which ones we liked and
we'll
fun
do
times we've had.
Like a top 5 mods round off or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Sound off. Cool. All right. So the next one, the next segment here we have. I don't believe we have a lower thirds graphic for this one either.
No, we don't.
But I'm bringing it back. It's show and tell. It's show and tell time.
Yay! Show and tell.
This is where Paul and I each bring some kind of tech device to the table, and we show it to you and tell you about it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a revolutionary idea.
It's a very interesting concept. Now,
Children wouldn't understand.
Now, there is a slight hiccup with your show and tell segment, though.
Oh, what's that?
One is that since we don't have the show and tell thing, I'm gonna pick one at random to use. What should we use?
Just use Face Off for everything.
So we'll use Face Off again. All right. We have a Face Off lower thirds, but we're actually doing show and tell.
That's
okay,
right.
That's enough of that. No, the thing I was gonna show and tell was supposed to be right here in the middle of the table. So as you guys may or may not know, Kyle and I have been working nonstop every chance we get on Tuesdays and maybe a few hours before the show to make the show better. Every single chance we get on Tuesdays before the show. But the point being, we were trying to do a new audio solution for you guys because we're in a garage and it's kind of echoey, and I have a single mic up here, but it's not that fantastic. We were trying to use some lav mics, and I had a soundboard, but the soundboard, I don't even know where it is anymore. Actually, I think I took it out there. So I can't even show it to you. I was going to show you guys this little 8-channel soundboard that I got from Monoprice.
So now you have to just improvise and pick something in your array of crap.
I'll just have to choose some random thing over here that might be...
Of course.
That might be something interesting to show to people.
I thought you were going to save that for like a secret unboxing.
I'm going to show it on my half of the channel too.
Of course.
Show it too.
You have to. You have to show that off.
But all right, so this came in the mail this week. I'm very proud, and I want to say thank you to all of you guys.
You're welcome.
This is my 100,000 subscriber silver play button. Yay!
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where are you gonna put it?
Well, I have like a remodel planned for this area behind me to install some more shelving and tabletops and stuff like that, and it's gonna be hopefully a little bit cleaner looking. I'm still gonna have lots of stuff going on back there, but I'll probably hang it up on the walls or something like that. I have a few YouTube paraphernalia things. Actually, my shirt's one of them. I've had this shirt for quite a while.
YouTube paraphernalia. You make it sound like you have a YouTube bong lying
around.
Yeah,
I got my YouTube bong back there.
Sweet.
Since this is the day, what is it? The Dia de los Muertos. No.
Dia de los Saints. All Saints weed.
All Saints marijuana Day. Is that what today is?
I don't know. Whatever Nick said.
Yeah, we got to celebrate that. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be hanging this up here behind me. Thank you guys. Thanks to any of you guys who are subscribers to my YouTube channel. You guys made this possible. I got this in the mail and I looked at it. I was like, I don't know. I got a little weepy. I was like, that's so freaking awesome. I've seen other people with them. The other stupid thing is that we never got one of these for Newegg TV.
I know. I don't know what happened
have
there.
no idea why.
Well, you said someone contacted you for this. Someone contacted you from
so
Newegg,
when you get when you get past 100,000 on the channel, you'll get a prompt on the channel, and I think it sends you a message too.
Okay.
It says like, hey, like, you know the little prompts that come in the top right when you're logged in?
Yep.
To tell you to like use their stupid cards or whatever.
Yeah, I hate that
Yeah, like it was one of those. So I had to go in there and like say yes, send it to me, and tell them what to print out on it and everything. But yeah, so I don't know if we never did that for Newegg or what. I wasn't involved, so
yeah,
I don't know why. But yeah, I was super happy when that came in, and I'll say it again. Thanks to all you guys for subscribing to both of our
Congratulations,
channels.
sir.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to mine someday as well.
That's my show and tell. Okay.
All right, cool. My show and tell is going to be the new phone that I got. And I'm really not a huge phone guy, but I felt it was appropriate for this segment just because it's brand new, first of all, and it's the nicest phone that I've ever had.
It is.
By far. I actually lost my old phone at Coachella at the event on Saturday.
It's one of the side effects of reverse herpes, actually.
Well, yeah.
It causes you to eat your phone.
It's not how I lost it.
In your sleep. Oh, wait. Did you have a story to tell about how you actually lost it?
No, not really.
Oh, I hadn't heard anything specific. I assumed it was just one of those things that I blacked out for like 8 hours.
Yeah, I don't recall anything specific.
Phone was gone. I woke up. I was asleep on
It's
a fat dude, and
exactly what
he was stroking my hair.
Gee, were you there?
Gently.
Amazing.
Just felt right.
But anyway, it literally just probably slipped out of my pocket when I was like sitting on the grass or something, and I went to feel for it, and it was gone. Went to Lost and Found the next day. No one had turned it in.
Surprising.
Well, I mean, honestly, everyone at Coachella is very nice.
That's true.
And
I've heard that.
some guy had actually left a phone in our campsite, and we returned it to him.
Oh.
And I was like, well, yeah, most of the people here are just as cool as we are, so, my phone should be fine. But no one turned it in, which makes me think maybe it just got stepped on and cracked, and they had to toss it. It was not worth recovering. Or it just, I don't know, went into some crevice in the venue where no one found it.
Lots of crevices at Coachella.
A lot of crevices.
Did you have a screen lock on it?
I did.
Okay.
I did have a screen lock.
That's important.
And I had my a certain email address on there so that people could contact me if they found it, if they charged it, powered up. But no one did.
Yeah.
So I got this. It's a Samsung Galaxy S6. I should probably mention what phone this is.
Now, did you consider the Edge at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay, you just...
As soon as I found out that it was like $100 more.
100 more for the Edge?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
It's that dragon again.
Even if it was like $20 more, I still don't think I would get it, just because
Angry dragon.
It is pretty loud in here, but I don't feel the need for the Edge. Like it just feels gimmicky to me personally. I just kind of like the regular flat screen, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
It's pretty straightforward.
But this was kind of an interesting choice because there was all those rumors about this phone kind of taking after the Apple iPhone. The iPhone 6 in particular.
Oh,
the unibody doesn't have a replaceable battery anymore. There's no expandable storage.
So how are you liking iTunes?
There's no iTunes on
here.
here.
You don't have to do iTunes.
I have Google Play Music.
So they didn't go full Apple.
They didn't go full Apple. You never go full Apple. Never go full Apple. But I like it. I think it's really nice. It's very slim. I wish it felt a little bit more grippy in the hand because it's made out of all glass and metal. The exterior.
I just want to point out the King 40 has the S6 Edge.
Worth the 100.
He says you're full of shit. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't actually say that.
He's totally entitled to that opinion.
That's what.
And half the time he's right. So.
But that's cool. I'm glad you have a new phone. I'm glad I can
too.
text you now and that you'll respond sometimes.
What do you mean? I always respond to your texts.
I texted you yesterday with an opportunity and you never replied to me.
The Twitch?
No,
GTA?
you don't even speculate what it is because it's an unreleased product. But you never replied to me.
I don't even remember getting it.
I can show you.
I don't even
this
remember
right
getting
now.
your text.
Did it not go through? We're gonna compare this.
I will check right now.
On air. Everyone's gonna be
Did
like,
Kyle purposely ignore Paul's text message yesterday?
I don't know.
We'll get to the bottom of this right here.
Oh wait, my wife's also texting me.
Oh, you're right. I meant to get back to you and I never did. I'm sorry.
All right.
Kyle did ignore Paul's text. I didn't ignore it. I actually saw it and I was like, oh, yeah, I should probably figure out if I'm going to do that.
I do that with so many digital communications.
Completely forgot.
Look at it. Yes, I am going to respond to that, just not right now.
And I never do.
And then you move on. All right. But is that all of show and tell?
Just a few more things I wanted to say about the phone. I feel like I didn't really give it its moment in the spotlight. I do like even though I'm not a fan of the unibody, I like how slim it is. It's the slimmest phone. My last phone, I came from a Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini.
Yeah, that was tiny.
So this is my first time having a 5.1 inch screen.
So you were saying that feels big.
It does to me, because I'm coming from a Mini. And your phone is way bigger than mine.
My phone's friggin' huge.
I don't know how you do that. You have bigger pockets than me or something.
I've gotten used to it. But yeah, there's the S6 next to the Nexus.
Jesus!
It's a very durable phone.
Gorilla Glass 2, baby.
Gorilla Glass 2. What do I have? What is this? The Nexus 5?
You don't know what phone you have?
It's one of those phones.
Yeah. But it's 2560 by 1440 screen, which is awesome.
That's cool.
It's like 557 ppi or something like that. So really nice screen. I'm really digging the 5.1 inch coming from like a 4.3 inch on my S4 Mini.
That feels like a good set. My phone, I'm like, I have fairly largish hands.
Yeah.
And my phone, sometimes I'm like this still a little too.
You have
I'm
to do
okay
the thumb
with
reach,
it.
like,
but yeah, I feel like for like a more average size hand or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty average.
Just kind of medium size. Yeah, that seems like a good.
But you see your
height and width.
True. Your phone, I noticed, kind of has like a nice kind of grip texture on the back, which mine does not. It's
that's the
case. Oh, that's the case. Oh, you have a case on.
I put a case on it. Other than that, it's got a little bit. I like my case.
Mm-hmm.
It's got. I mean, it's not super smooth. Before this, I had the LG G2, and it was like it would just just like fly out of your hand.
That's kind of how this phone is.
This one I got because it's a little awkward when you set it down slightly, but also
that's why you got it.
You got the case.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't taken my case off in a while, so it's kind of messy. But yeah, I also like this case because it still puts a little dot where the Motorola symbol is, and the Motorola symbol actually is like an indent. And for a phone this big, the indent is like grip. My finger sits right there.
Right.
And it's kind of a center point, and it keeps it from like moving around or whatever. And I actually really like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Even without the cover on, I was happy to have that there. But when I was looking for a cover, I was like, I want one that leaves that open there, because for something this big, if you're doing it one-handed, you want to have a little bit more stability going on.
That's what she said.
So, yep.
Yeah. But overall, I'm really liking the phone. I have a case on the way. I just ordered one from Amazon the other day. It's got a little bit of texture on the back, just because I'm paranoid of dropping my phone. I've dropped my phone before, an older phone, and cracked the screen before. I know how bad that sucks. So I'm a little paranoid with this one, since it's a really nice one. But I'm also looking to take advantage of some of the cool features, including wireless charging. I've never had a phone with wireless charging before. I ordered one of those recently, a wireless charger on Amazon. So that'll be really nice, especially like in my bedroom and stuff. You just lay it down, plug in, or pretty much wireless stuff. And Samsung Pay, I'm kind of on the fence about that. I feel like I might try it out, but I think what it's going to be primarily used for, what I'll primarily use it for, is like emergencies. Like if I don't have my card on me, and I just, I'm at the store, I'm like, oh, I forgot my wallet. I can use Samsung Pay or whatever, and that'll be cool. But overall, pretty cool phone.
Sweet.
I like it a lot.
Nice.
Yep. And that's my show and tell, and that is the end of that segment.
Beautiful.
So now we can move on to the next one, which is Pimp My PC.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this because I tweeted on Twitter earlier for you guys to send in your pictures of your personal computers, and Paul and I would go ahead and destroy them all.
We're going to celebrate Pimp My PC by showing you guys the new Pimp My PC lower thirds, which says to fund or not to fund, which is one of Kyle's other segments. But yeah, we didn't update those.
Just use your imagination.
Anyway.
By the way, this is a blatant ripoff segment of Matt Philly's Pimp My Setup, which is a live stream that he does regularly. You can check him out at youtube.com/swashintv. It's a really great show.
It is a great show.
That's why we copied it.
It's,
in every way. Except with PCs.
So Matt Philly's show, basically, he a bunch of people submit pictures of their setups or like their desk area, and Matt and a guest will go on and kind of critique their setup and how they have things laid out, and cable management in particular is big in there, which is the same with PCs. So Kyle has taken that idea, applied it to PCs. So earlier today, Kyle sent out a tweet and got a huge response, by the way. Thank you guys.
Thank
so many of you guys sent in pictures.
I was gonna awesome. I was about to get mad. I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, wait, I totally asked for this.
I was like
frantically
setting up for the show, and Kyle's like, people stop tweeting me pictures of their PCs.
It's not like I asked you to send me pictures.
Oh wait, I did. I asked them. So Did he hack the feed?
Who? Swatch?
Uh-oh. Did we lose?
Is that in here?
We have no drops.
What? Feed is offline for me.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
No, the stream from our end, as far as we can tell, has 0 dropped frames. So this has got to be all on the Twitch side.
Oh, someone said we're back.
We're back. Back on. Okay.
Yay, okay. Hopefully it stays back on.
Guys, in chat, sorry if we had a hiccup there.
It's all Twitch's fault.
It's according to according to the numbers I can see over here, that was a Twitch hiccup because
right. We haven't dropped it all on our end.
We have 0 dropped or anything like that. So sorry to any guys who had to refresh there.
Yeah, hopefully it's cool now. But yeah, I mean, just continuing off, like, this is a really great concept that Matt came up with, and we wanted to kind of implement that in our own PC type way for the show. So we have a ton of you guys sending in your pictures, but we're only going to be able to take a look at so many of them just because time constraints and stuff like that.
We'll try to run through them kind of quick so that we can get to as many as we can.
For sure. So the first one is from Complex. He sent in his mid-tower PC pick, and he's going with a purple and blue and orange theme, which is a color combination I have never seen before.
That is interesting.
And white. I should mention white's in there too.
So
I am a huge fan of purple. I think purple is one of those colors that's underrated. Like, oh, it's a girl color, but I think it can look really badass when used appropriately. So I like how you've made the effort to get purple LED fans, which I know aren't the easiest to come by comparatively. But I think maybe another one of those fans, one of those purple fans on the heatsink would look really great instead of that. That's a Cougar, right? I think that's a Cougar.
It looks like a Cougar on
Vortex.
Cougar Vortex on the Hyper 212, which is a really nice fan. Those are hydrodynamic bearing.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of attention to airflow in here. We have actually dual fans up here at the front.
Yes.
Kind of like one taking the initial intake and one doing a handoff. Like, hey, I'll pass it back to you, and you go ahead and feed this on into the interior. He's definitely got some dedication to the purple theme because we have purple and white extension cables here going on for but only for the graphics card.
Right, I would like to see that for the ATX cable as well.
Over here for ATX, for our main one, which is what you I feel like more frequently see cable extensions for, it looks like still using the standard Seasonic. Right. Which has the blast of color there or whatever.
He probably sleeved the PCIe cable and was like, this is freaking hard, and just gave up. Because that's almost what I did.
Yeah.
I sleeved the cables, like, screw this.
It's very difficult. I have a job coming up with that very soon. I don't know how I'm looking forward to it.
God be with you.
God
be with you, son.
Definitely need more purple.
But yeah, you know what? This also, you know what this means too, Paul? Is that manufacturers need to start making parts in purple.
We definitely need purple.
We need purple DIMMs. We need purple motherboards with purple heat sinks. Come on.
All right,
get on it.
I'm gonna be the jerk here and go on the critical side.
Dick.
And point out some things here that I'm not really that into. I gotta say that Cougar fan, as amazing as those fans are, does not fit with the rest of what's going on here. It's the only orange thing, and orange and purple. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not gonna work.
I agree.
And the vast majority, there's some stylists out there who could make it work, but
sure.
That's a different show. The memory looks blue. I want to say that's blue.
Those are G-Skill DIMMs, I think.
No. That's a Corsair Vengeance. I want to. No. Maybe you're right. That is G-Skill. Brah. Okay. Either way, it's blue.
It is
also not matched in there. Again,
at that point, you're better off with going with something more neutral like black DIMMs. Because the black will just blend right into your motherboard, the PCB on your motherboard. And
real quick from chat, SaverGN Twitch is asking if it's too late to tweet his PC. For this week, yes.
Yeah.
We've already chosen.
Wait, and don't send it in for next week. Wait for me to ask again for next week if we do the segment again, and then send it, and there's a chance I might pick it.
So those look like rip jaws there. But we need to move on to the next one. So overall here, I will say functionally, and that is what's most important to me, you have a nice clean build. You have a lot of attention to airflow here. You have an aftermarket CPU cooler, which is great. I bet the system runs nice and quiet, and I bet it does absolutely everything you want it to. So great job functionally on the build.
One more thing I want to say, pet peeve of mine that I just noticed.
What's that?
I don't like seeing cables above the drive cages on that backside panel.
Okay.
I don't like
if you
seeing
can
those.
push those over to the side.
Yeah,
So
you can.
There's definitely. I feel like there's a lot of work that could be done here aesthetically.
Yeah.
But functionally
it's
it looks
great.
totally good.
Yes.
I'll also say the other thing I was going to point out is the screws you got going into that top radiator.
Oh,
or
yeah.
at least those exhaust. No, that's not a radiator. Those are just exhaust fans.
Yeah.
Those are also a little unsightly.
Mm-hmm.
So on the functionality side, I think you're doing great here, and I
Yeah.
bet the system runs awesome
cool.
for you.
Yeah.
But I would say if you were looking to do something that's a bit more pimp my PC worthy,
That is the
there's
name of the
definitely
show.
some stuff you can go you can swap out or do some upgrades for to make things a little bit more.
Thanks for sending that in,
color
Complex.
coordinated.
Our next system
Yes,
comes
thank you.
from Michael,
Alrighty.
and a little bit of flash reflection there on the top right, but that's okay. There's not too
No,
much important
That's
going on
because
there.
it's like the light of heaven is
Yes,
coming through.
that's totally it.
Can we
But this
let's
was
image
an
correctly.
interesting system. That's why I picked it, because if you look at the graphics card configuration, we've got two 980s it looks like, but one of them is the
Oh.
reference cooler and another one is EVGA.
That's interesting.
So I'm wondering what happened there. I'm wondering if maybe you acquired one, and maybe you bought the first one and then the other one just naturally came to you
Yeah.
through other means and you
Yeah.
didn't really have a choice over it, but you're not going to turn away a 980. So I don't know. It has a story behind it. There's a story behind why these two graphics cards are different.
What case is this? This
This is Striker.
It's a Striker.
Looks like. Oh wait, no wait. Yeah, it looks
No.
like a Striker because look at how it slants downward on the top. Is that a handle? No, it's not a Striker because
No.
Striker would have the fans on the
has
cage.
better airflow from the side too.
And it has
this
the
might be
drive
a
cages.
Thor.
No, it's not a Thor.
The Roswell Thor? No. Why wouldn't it be a Thor?
Someone
think
said
it-
Zalman case maybe.
Actually, this is looking like an older case to me because
Right.
you got a lot of 5 1/4 inch
5 1/4 inch
bays
and not many
there's,
drive cages.
and there's no
Toolless.
There's no toolless stuff or anything going on there.
Zalman
this-
Z11.
Zalman Z11.
That looks
Thank you.
about right,
Thank you,
yeah.
Zolari. All right, so this looks like another one of the function over form kind of setups to me. Because, look, I can completely respect you got a 980 and you get another 980. I don't give two shits if they match. I got
yeah, I
two
know.
980s. I'm going to line them up in
course.
two-way SLI. Good work there.
Hell yeah.
Now, you got a lot of hard drives in here. You got at least 4 full-size mechanical 3.5-inch drives. You have a very nice power supply in the Corsair AX1200i. Fantastic power for this entire system, going above and beyond, which a lot of people talk down on and say you don't need that much power, and you're right, you don't need that much for this system, but that power supply is probably sitting at about 50 to 60% usage, maybe up to 70 if you're under full load, and that's right in the wheelhouse for the maximum efficiency of the power supply.
Yeah.
So that I don't talk down on that at all. Now,
Cabling, however.
cabling. This is what it comes down to for me. This is where we go from the function over form thing over into where your form is actually affecting your function here.
Yeah.
Because the mess of cables you have going on here towards the front, towards all these hard drives, that is seriously impeding your airflow. I don't know what you have going on as far as a side panel here. If it's a very open side panel in this case and you have extra fans blowing straight in,
Then it's just aesthetics.
then you're probably still okay airflow wise. But if you have any temperature issues with your hard drives or those graphics cards,
Yeah.
cleaning up that mess of cables
And
there.
I'd say that's even more crucial because you have two GTX 980s
oh
in there
yeah,
and SLI.
especially with the SLI configuration.
Yeah.
But beastly hardware overall.
Yeah.
Um,
I really like
I can't tell what it looks. It's got 2 DIMMs, so that's probably gonna like a Z87 or Z97.
Those are
motherboard.
Vengeance. Those are for sure Vengeance.
Those are for sure Vengeance DIMMs. Not sure what you got going on as far as the motherboard. I can't really tell, but nice system though.
Yeah.
But yeah, clean up them cables.
Yep.
You'll probably lower the temperatures on those graphics cards, and you might even get higher sustained GPU boost frequencies.
Right.
Yeah.
Just tidy it up.
Yep. I can clean
You'll
that
be
up.
good.
But thank you.
Thank you. The next
Who
one
sent
comes
that over? That
from,
was from Mazi Maltun. Michael Tauri.
I just call him Michael. I
Michael.
call him Mike.
All right,
It's
thanks,
easier
Michael.
than that.
Thanks for sending that over, man.
Next PC comes from a good follower of both of our Twitters and
That's
YouTube
cute.
channels, is the Manic Geek.
Beautiful. All right.
Manic Geek, I know you're in chat. How's it going, brother?
What's up, dude?
I saw your picture and I was like, we're using it, cause why not? You know. But
also,
yeah.
Also, and I'm
'Cause I
sorry,
liked it,
I'm
really.
sorry to point this out here, but
Uh-oh.
we have about 20 minutes for the whole entire rest of That's if we want to keep it to an hour per side.
Are you serious?
I know it's gone by so quickly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna plow through.
I don't care if we go long. We can go a little bit long.
Yeah.
But I just want to keep that in mind. All right. So TMG. Let's take a look here.
So I really like this build a lot, actually. I think it looks extremely clean. The cable management, you've utilized all the grommets very properly. I love how the SSD is kind of hiding up there, how you can still see it. I thought it was a smart choice to put it up there as opposed to in the drive cage, because.
Okay, that's a HyperX.
Yeah, the HyperX.
This is a Corsair 760T case, by the way.
Oh yeah, 760T. You have one of those.
760T, yes, which I do have, with no side panel whatnot. I like that you've taken everything that's not necessary or being used out of there.
Yeah, and I like how you also shifted the drive cage
all the way.
over.
You even pulled out the other SSD brackets that are in there.
Yep.
Move the drive cage over, so
opens up the airflow.
Airflow wise, oh my God, you're golden.
Yep.
It's almost to the extent where I'm like, there's a lot of empty space in there.
But that's not necessarily.
That's not a terrible thing at all. I like the cable extensions. The cable management is beautiful.
Yeah, well done.
Excellent. Very, very, very good job there. Yeah, we're seeing a couple comments in chat that you definitely could fit this hardware into a smaller, more compact case.
Sure.
But I mean, the 760T is a extremely easy case to work in.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's even like empty space in a case. That's the trade-off. It's like you have empty space, sure, but wow, that was an easy build, like to route everything and
not to mention airflow. Like he could fit all this hardware in a smaller case, but would he necessarily have 140 millimeter two of those at the front? You know what I mean? Like he'd have to sacrifice some element of air cooling in a smaller chassis. If you've got the desk space for it, then go for it. You know.
I'm trying to find my H220X. So that is not an H220X. That is a variant of the H220X, which I'm actually not familiar with. It's a 120 millimeter version of that.
Right.
I think the other thing here that I'm pretty sure is some customization is I believe he must have either gotten other tubing.
Yeah.
For the connection between the CPU cooler and the block.
Right.
Or cut the tubing that comes with that unit short.
Right.
And I will say, this case looking so open, that contributes to it a lot. And with that positioning there, it makes it a lot more cleaner to have those runs that
I should also mention that Fractal Josh is here, and he said +1 for the power supply.
Oh yes, +1 for the power supply.
Absolutely. I'd have to concur.
Clearly, it's powering that system beautifully.
Yes, but well done, Manic. Very well done.
Yeah, that's a nice system. I like it.
Nice looking build. Next one comes from Kyle.
Kyle Johnston.
Not me.
Johnson.
Different
No,
Kyle.
not Kyle Johnston.
Damn it.
Johnson.
Oh,
Johnson.
so much cooler if it was Kyle Johnson.
All right.
He
calls it the Define ROG5.
For many reasons, I'm sure.
Yes.
So probably get another +1 from Josh on the case end right here. We got a Define R5. That's a Define R5 for sure.
Yeah.
And it looks really pretty tidy, actually. One thing that stands out to me is that you've got the 3-pin, or is that a 4-pin cable from your front radiator fan going way across to your motherboard, stretching over, and it looks just kind of funny. Maybe you should get like an extension that where you can kind of hide it more. Again, with my pet peeve.
Run it around the edge.
Run it around the edge.
Yeah.
But other than that, it looks really tidy. I like the cable management. Everything looks super clean.
I guess you must have 1 or 2 SSDs on the back SSD mounts.
You got those 2 SSD mounts behind the motherboard tray.
Because other than that, you have 0 storage in this system.
Right. I mean, that's cool. I mean,
nothing wrong. This system back
500 gig SSD
is running off of 250 gig SSDs or thereabouts, so nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
And I will say again, like, removing everything that you're not needing as far as drive cages and all that stuff goes, A, good job Fractal by making those removable.
Yep.
And B, really opens everything up for airflow. Again, it makes it look like there's a lot of space, but I mean, I like that. I like knowing also that you can take the cage if you wanted to, and you could probably pretty easily drop it back into the bottom there and add some drives in the future if you wanted to.
Right.
Poor choice in the power supply, though.
I
just
well, I think the only thing
this is just karma. Before we had a Corsair case with a Fractal power supply. Now we have a Fractal case
-1 from Josh on the power supply.
Yeah, Josh hates the power supply. That's all right.
What I will say though is aesthetically, this is PIMP My PC after all. Is you could get maybe like a black and red power supply or something like that. That kind of matches the black and white theme or
blend
the black, red, and white theme.
See, this to me speaks to like this is a carryover from an old system.
I was thinking the same thing because it's an older power
supply, custom
newer
sleeving. Like he bought those sleeving extensions, or sleeved them himself.
But he's got Fury memory in there.
But he's got Fury memory. Yeah. So this to me says maybe that's a power supply carrying over from an older system.
Yeah.
One other thing I might point out here, you could flip that power supply.
Oh, I didn't even notice the fan was up.
The fan is face up. I like going face down. You have a fan filter right underneath that power supply right there. If there was one thing I was going to do to this, you also have two Asus Strix. I'm guessing those are 970s or 980s right above there. Mm-hmm. Those are pulling air up.
Yeah.
Power supply is pulling air down. What you have is two fans right next to each other. They're both fighting for that little bit of air that's going to be able to fit in there.
Yep.
And it's the lower card and everything, but that you might lower your temps
there's more reason to flip it than not.
That's the only thing I would do, yeah. And the other thing that I always say about having the fan face up, it's not bad. You can do that. It's not a bad thing to do or anything like that. But I have had a face up fan before, and I've been doing something else higher up in the case and dropped a screw.
Yes.
Screw right down into the power supply.
No.
And then you have to take the whole system and like hold it upside down and like shake it to try to get the screw out of there.
It's like a quicksand pit.
Not very convenient.
Yep.
Yeah.
But overall, pretty clean looking build.
Yeah, very nice. Nice build. I like that we've had a couple two-way configurations here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
That was from Kyle Johnston again, or Geekin' Dad. Johnston.
Next up, we come. We got a system here from our buddy Owen.
Owen Cookhouse.
Mr. Owen Cookhouse.
Yoinker man.
I was taking a look at this, and what caught my eye initially was that SSD that's kind of seems to be resting on your video card. Looks like a twin Frozer. I don't know.
That is an interesting choice.
But yeah, I feel like the Seagate SSD shouldn't be there. Like you have more options, I think. Maybe mounting it to the just above the drive cages, or even on top of the drive cage, or somewhere behind the motherboard tray. This looks like a Define R4. Maybe.
Is that what it's definitely a fractal because it's got the black and white. Yeah, I'm thinking Define R4 is a pretty safe bet here.
Yeah.
You also have an interesting red
cable
extension for just one of your 4 PEG connectors, which is wrapped around the other connectors. And I've done something similar with cables. I'll take the cables and wrap one around the other to kind of tighten up the group or whatever. It's interesting.
It's functional.
It stands out a lot, that red cable.
I'm wondering if that was on purpose.
Yeah,
It's hard to say when it comes to aesthetics because it's subjective. He might think that looks really good, and we might just be like confused about it. So I don't know if I want to tell you to like really change that unless you don't,
Like for a power that's an HX 750 power supply, Corsair, like that has ample PEG connectors for a 4-way configuration like this with what I think you got 2 6 pins and 2 8 pins that are needed there.
Yeah.
So the extension just seems kind of weird. Like if you're gonna get an extension, I feel like you get extensions for all of them so they'd match. But maybe just to have the one in there.
Maybe like his friend gave him one.
That's strange.
But
I mean,
it works.
Yeah, I mean it's not terrible looking or anything. It's just it definitely stands out to me.
I think if you still wanted to go with the red and black, I mean, hell, it's your computer. Do what you want, but maybe try just making the red cable just straight. And just having it run along the other black ones and zip tie those together with maybe a black zip tie.
Yeah, the red one. I think
that
thing
might look pretty cool.
That would let you tuck a little bit more of that back behind the motherboard tray, maybe. But yeah, again, overall, I mean, this looks like a nice, powerful system.
And dust your PC a bit more often than you do, because I can tell it's a bit dusty on the drive cage there.
I would take that Seagate drive. I'm guessing that's in the 600 series.
Mm-hmm.
I would. Rather than having it propped up where you have it, just because that's just a little awkward to me. I mean, it's very visible, and I like, I got a nice fast SSD. I want it to be visible.
Yeah.
Like, put that on top of that hard drive cage there, maybe. Like, get a little strip of Velcro, and you can stick it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
or against the backside.
Yeah, panel. And then I'd be a little bit less concerned about SSD housing is metal, and you got it up against the motherboard or sitting against the PCB on the graphics card. I think that could be potentially a better.
Gives me anxiety watching it stand up there, like someone on a tightrope.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway. Thank you for that, Owen.
Yes, Owen.
That's a great build. It's
more
got some potential. Next up, we've got Mark. This is kind of... I just wanted to kind of oogle at this system for a little bit.
Wait, this is the wrong one. That's awesome. Is this Mark's?
This is Mark's, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't... The link wasn't working right for the Twitter picture, so I just got a direct image. Very nice hardline tubing there, custom water-cooled rig. This is an NZXT case, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I really love what you've done with the power supply. You've completely just overwritten the Corsair branding with an NZXT sticker.
Yes, he has.
The NZXT-O.
With the 0 right there. Okay.
But overall, this is a super clean rig. I actually picked this out because I was wondering if you had any comments about the tubing in particular, because you just did some hardline tubing yourself, and you would probably know more about this than I would. So if there was any kind of, maybe thoughts that you had on it, or or maybe it just looks good to go.
So one thing I'll say as far as the tubing goes here, like, all right, so coming from me, and I'm not like a great critique of like custom water cooled builds or anything like that. I like looking at them, and I think many of them look cool. And I actually think what you have going on here in the center looks pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, just from speaking to other more experienced liquid coolers who have done custom builds before, crossing the tubes over is sometimes looked at as like not as
It's a faux pas.
aesthetically. Yeah, I mean to a degree.
Oh, just
like,
aesthetically, it doesn't affect performance.
It doesn't affect performance or anything like that. But like this, see how the CPU block coming out right there is coming out and going down to the graphics card, but you also have a line coming across from the other side. That's and they're kind of overlapping each other.
Sure.
And like I said, I actually kind of think that looks cool.
So do I.
But there might be some liquid cooling guys who would look at that and be like, actually, you could have come with that tube from the right side and like gone up and over that.
So they never crossed over.
Yeah, they wouldn't have like.
You never cross streams, man.
Yeah, crossing the streams seems to be a bad thing.
Right. I think it looks great.
But this is
what is that? Is that a little mini pump right there above the graphics card? The top graphics card?
It looks kind of like a pump mounted in an interesting angle. That's like a visible.
That also looks like it's resting on the water block a bit.
Kinda.
I mean, there's like no clearance between
it's
the two of them.
And then also, the lower graphics card seems to still have its
stock cooler on
it.
Yeah.
So
but
maybe
there's also a tube going to it.
It's a power color. Where does that tube go? Where does it? Because even if the tube was...
Is it going into the grommet behind it? No, right?
It might be going straight back. That or it just terminates right there.
That would make
Maybe
sense.
It's a work in progress.
I don't know.
Because if it just terminated right there, because the top card has an in and an out.
Oh, yeah, maybe he's planning on... Yeah, he hasn't gotten to that block yet.
Maybe he's going to expand the loop.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh, it's a drain. Alien's saying it's a drain.
It's a drain.
That's a weird place for a drain.
What is a drain, Paul? Like...
A drain,
I know what a drain is, but...
It's just made to be an outlet that's more easily accessible.
Okay.
So that if you need to drain the liquid from your loop to do maintenance or anything like that,
or just
it's
wipe
just
it completely.
A lot easier.
Okay.
Gotcha. Because especially in a hardline build, once you have all the tubes in place, like if you need to empty it, like what are you going to do? As soon as you pop off one of the tubes, the liquid's going to start coming out.
Right.
So having a dedicated like single line coming off that's just capped or something like that, then you can take it like put it over a bucket or something and uncap it and then start draining.
I see, because he's got his input-output at the top of the card in the drain.
Oh my gosh, Hardware Connects is in here too. Hey, what's up, Dimitri?
Oh, what's up, Dimitri?
How's it going, guys?
Hi, friend.
We're having such a fun time today.
I know.
I'm glad that we're...
Sorry if you guys are like on a time crunch and you're like, oh, Awesome Hardware, it's only going to be 2 hours. I can totally watch the whole show. Yeah, we're going a little bit over today, guys. I'm sorry about that. But we are almost done with the segment, so let's move on to the next one. Stefan.
Okay, Stefan.
No,
this is Oscar V.
Oh, this is Oscar V. Thank you, Oscar.
Let's do Stefan at the end, because Oscar V, I think...
Okay.
I opened it twice. Okay.
Oscar, let's see your build.
All right, here's Oscar's build.
All right.
Let's take a look at the...
Oh, yes. Okay, so right off the bat, we'll just kind of speed through these last two. Cable management, I would say, needs a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
Just all around. Power supply, ATX, video card.
What is this cable right here?
That is the...
It looks like it's going from the memory back behind the motherboard.
Oh no, it's a CPU cooler. See how it sticks out from the bottom and then it loops back up?
Okay.
So you can easily tuck that away. I usually tuck mine either in between the DIMMs. Like if I really get it right in the groove between the actual DIMM slots, you can barely even see that it's there, unless you look super close up. So try routing that around. I like the cooler. I like the drive mounting is decent. It's just cabling. Honestly, this system could look really clean if you just used a zip tie or 2 or 10.
Or 10.
Or 10. I think that's pretty much it.
What the hell is that graphics card? Oh, I know what that is. That's a
reference. No,
that's I want to say a 660.
660 Ti maybe.
It's one of the NVIDIA cards that came out within the past year and a half that had the shortened PCB, but then the cooler extended with the blower on the end.
Right.
I think 660. Oh gosh, I'm remembering all these numbers.
Yeah, I think you're right though, 660. But cable that stuff up and you'll be good to go. I think it has potential. I like the little red connectors for the PCIe. I think it matches with the power supply a bit.
It's nice when those little bits of accent colors actually blend.
Yeah, because they can really be distracting when they don't. So.
But yeah, this is all this. I feel like unplugging everything, rerouting all the cables, and tying stuff down is gonna make this system night and day visually.
Yep.
Again, functionally, it's probably okay right now, but you probably could reduce a little bit of temperatures because this mess of cables right at the center, and the other mess of cables right up to the right of the 24 pin.
Right.
That's a lot more airflow impedance than it could be.
Yes.
So clearing that out is going to provide a little bit more airflow back from the front intakes.
Yep.
And and again, another situation where you could probably pretty easily flip that power supply upside down.
Yeah.
And point the fan down. And again, I don't know what case you have, but that could give you a bit more.
It's an older case.
Easier. If it's an older case, yeah. I mean, having the fan down on the power supply is especially convenient if you have an air filter right there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
Either way, that's what I go for.
Thank you, Oscar.
Let's move on to...
This is our last case of the night.
Stefan_R35 on Twitter.
Stefan. Now here's, Paul, is where I agree with you that there can be such a thing as too much space. Too much empty space.
That's a lot of space.
This is I'm pretty sure, a high-end Case Labs case, right? I mean, it looks like it. It looks pretty custom.
Yeah.
Just based on the little holes on the side. It just looks like a Case Labs case. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I don't know. But, I mean, damn. There should be 3 radiators in this thing, at least, for a case of this caliber.
What are those Zotac cards? Those look like
960s.
Those looks like 960s.
I have a 960 Zotac that looks exactly like that.
It's an ASRock Z97 Fatality motherboard.
Yeah.
That's G-Skill Ripjaw, or not Ripjaws, but that's Trident X memory from G-Skill. This confuses me because I feel like your case was probably way too much money spent, way too overkill for the hardware that you have in it. So here's the thing for me. Whenever people are asking me about oh, should I get this CPU cooler, or should I get this case, or should I get whatever, I'm always spend money on your cooler or your case or whatever, but not at the expense of your other components.
Yeah. Right. How much more badass could his video cards be, or his power supply be, if he had just gone with a regular standard mid-tower case that was $400 less or $300 less.
This makes me curious actually what his situation is, because this combination of hardware is so just random to me. Because look, he's got a Silverstone closed loop cooler with Corsair AF or SP fans on it with the custom red rings,
right,
and whatever. Lots of fans. You got tons of airflow in this case.
Yep.
Lots of space. I like the you got some color coding going on there with the cable extensions. You got a red and white thing going on overall. I just feel like you've got that's also a Sound Blaster Soundcore 3D. I don't remember the name. It's one of the Sound Blaster sound cards with the quad core.
I know which one you're talking about.
The Soundcore 3D chip in it. It's also up there on top.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for me, if I had this whole build on like a shopping cart or like a PC part picker list, I'd take the case out, I'd take a bunch of the fans out, I'd take the closed loop cooler out, I'd take the cable extensions out. I'd probably swap out those graphics cards and upgrade them to 970s, 980s, or maybe like an R9295X2 or something like that. Power supply's good, but yeah, like I feel like you could take some of that money that's maybe gone into the case and some of the other things there. Even that memory, Trident X memory is
pretty pricey.
Yeah, it's more expensive than your other memory, and you can, performance-wise, it's not really going to get you all that much. So. Yeah. I feel like you could maybe get a more powerful system by reconfiguring what you spent the money on here, but like I said, this also the configuration here kind of strikes me as maybe he had some of this stuff already, and he kind of piecemeal put this together with like that power supply with those cable extensions. Maybe that was already there.
Yeah.
So
maybe he got like an awesome job that was like 6 figures, and then he bought like a Case Labs case and like a pretty baller fans and shit, and then he lost his job, and then he had to resort to 960s.
On the plus side, take the case, fans, not the power supply, but the extensions. Set that aside. Take everything else and put it in a smaller case, and you got a nice little system. And then take that money you got from your new baller job and invest in like an X99 platform system to go in this case, using a lot of that extra stuff. Then you'd have two kind of more balanced systems.
And
but okay.
Just either get a smaller case or get a bunch of radiators and do some custom water cooling.
Yeah, this case feels like it deserves a little bit more than what you got going on in there. Yeah. But all right, so that was from Stefan. Thank you, Stefan, for submitting that, letting us critique it.
We really do appreciate it.
We definitely do.
And just on a final note, this isn't really a PC review, but there was one more link in there, Paul.
There was?
Yes.
No, there wasn't.
It was an honorable mention. I just wanted to give an honorable mention to a fan. Not for the inside of their case necessarily, but the case itself.
Yeah, because you didn't post the whole link. You cut off the H.
Oh, I did?
In HTTPS.
Oh, no.
Let's see if I can...
H-less. Get that H in there. I just saw this and I was like...
Sorry, that page doesn't exist.
Damn it!
Oh, the H is on the end of it.
The H is on the end.
Why did the How did you move the H from the beginning of that link to the end of it?
I don't know. Right. I spilled beer on my laptop.
That's true. You just blame that. Blame everything on that.
All the time. So I just thought this deserved an honorable mention because I thought it was a pretty sweet case mod that Dean did.
Nice.
It's definitely AMD centric.
Yeah.
It's definitely an ode to Team Red. And I thought it was really well done.
What is the DME for?
DME, that might be his personal thing. I don't know. It's
Dean's...
It's the name of his wiener. I don't know. But whatever
Dean's
it is.
the man, eh?
Dean.
I don't know.
Dean.
I just made that up.
Dean's...
But yeah, nice mod.
Man.
Little H440
energy.
mod. Beautiful.
Yeah, little H40 mod, so just paying our respects to Team Red.
Good job, Gene.
But thank you guys so much for sending in those pictures for this segment. If you guys enjoy Pimp My PC, then we will be bringing it back with future episodes of Awesome Hardware. Thank you guys very much for sending those in.
Unless you hate it, then we won't.
Unless you hate it, then screw it. And that brings us to my final segment. I'm sure all of you guys are like, finally, at this point, just get it over with. I've been talking about crap for way too long today.
News. This is a news segment.
But we're doing news. We do have a news lower third.
I do. I can bring that up. Just so you guys know.
Ta-da!
We're talking about news now.
All right. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to try to go over these stories quickly because I don't want to eat up too much of your guys' time.
Sure you do, Kyle.
Sure I do. Why not? So the first one is CyberPower's Trinity PC will be a shipping product. So this was something that they displayed, showed off at CES this year.
Okay.
And a lot of the cool things that you see at CES, a lot of them just become nothing. They never go anywhere. They're just prototypes.
Like
the
Razer
computer.
Which one? What was that called even? The modular funky one?
Modular. It looked like a Nintendo cartridge thing.
Weird.
But so shit like that, right? The chances are it's probably nothing's gonna come of it. But
so there's several configurations.
There will be several configurations of the Trinity PC. For those of you who don't know, the case is kind of a very unique design. It's split up into 3 separate blades, is what they're calling them, and each blade ideally theoretically contains different hardware, and each blade also has its own cooling solution. So I don't know, you get better thermals and shit like that. So you've got your performance blade, which I think is the top one, maybe. Don't quote me on that.
No,
yes.
I mean they all look the same.
You can rotate it anyway. So you've got your performance blade, which houses your GPU. It can do full-length graphics cards. You could fit a Titan in there, or a full-size 980, for example.
Oh, each corner of the Triforce has its own name?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So you got the performance blade, which got GPU, and you can do some SSDs in there as well alongside it by the PCB.
Okay.
You've also got your CPU blade, which houses your CPU, obviously, and a mini ITX motherboard. So there's that.
All right.
And then lastly, you've got your storage blade, which houses, I think, 3 SSDs and 2 3.5-inch drives.
Probably down here. And the power supply, it looks like.
And the power supply.
Okay.
So see how all 3 blades are kind of connected in the center by that hollow hexagonal spine.
Hexagonal.
Hexagonal.
I don't know how that's pronounced at all.
Yeah. But that's where all of your cable management goes, apparently.
Okay. Well, that's
So that is the basic
interesting.
premise of this really niche, different kind of take on custom-built PCs.
And you can go all the way up to a Trinity Extreme version,
Yes.
Which would ship with an i7 5820. Wait.
What?
Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say, there's only one motherboard, at least, that's available right now that would work with this, and of course, it's the one they're using, which is the ASRock X99E-ITX AC motherboard, which is the only shipping
Only mini ITX
X99 mini ITX motherboard.
Yes.
And that makes me less, well, at least for that version. I wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't go for X99 in this, to be honest.
No.
I don't like that the ITX X99 boards have to have 2 DIMM slots.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like for me.
It just seems like it's.
Yeah, for me the quad channel memory.
It's like getting
is
your balls chopped off.
Yeah.
It's like buying a computer with its balls chopped off. But the Trinity 200, which is only $1,300, I have a problem with that one too, because even though it's rocking a 4690K, which is a great CPU, and 16 gigs of RAM, it still only has a GTX 960 in it.
Really?
For a $1,400 computer. So you're paying a huge premium for the case itself.
Yeah, for it
and
being
just the
this
style and
funky
design.
And like this isn't. These are all pre-assembled, right? These are CyberPower PCs.
They are pre-assembled.
So
You can easily open it up and customize
yeah.
and
So
upgrade.
whereas you could dive in there, it's coming pre-assembled.
Right.
I wonder if they're going to offer this case by itself. Or if they're the only ones who are going to be like, no, it's too complicated. We can only have our system integrators actually do anything with that.
They'll only offer the case by itself if these computers don't sell. Then maybe they might.
then they might.
What are we going to do with all these cases that we bought?
To get rid of them somehow.
We have like 1,000 cases.
Dimitri's asking if we can, whether or not you can buy the case separately. Wait, who's... Hold on.
Don't think so. There's no plans.
Who's CyberPower, right? Hold on.
What?
There's CyberPower and there's iBuyPower.
Yes.
There's NZXT and there's AZA.
Yes.
Those 4 companies are related, but I forget which one goes to which. It's either CyberPower and NZXT or CyberPower and AZA. Or iBuyPower and NZXT, or iBuyPower and AZA.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I don't remember which one goes with which. But, Dimitri, since you asked that question, yes, both CyberPower and iBuyPower, the parent companies that own both of those system integrator companies, because CyberPower and iBuyPower make full computers that you can just buy and get, and like, here's a computer.
Mm-hmm.
But both of those companies own, or as part of their conglomerate or whatever that they work with, NZXT and AZA, but I don't remember again which one goes with which. So, if CyberPower is making this system, I wouldn't see it as being too much of a stretch for NZXT or AZA, whichever one CyberPower is associated with, to maybe release this as a case by itself. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's extremely niche.
Yeah, it's a unique case,
it's
and I would
so niche.
Honestly, this is just coming from me because I build my own computers. I don't go to CyberPower or iBuyPower and ask them to buy me computers. Like, for me, it would be interesting to see that case just because it's such a unique design. It would probably be a challenge to build in because I gotta imagine passing everything through that central hub. Like, I mean, come on, you have a...
Yeah, it'd get pretty cramped in there.
Is the chamber with the graphics card the same chamber as the motherboard?
No.
No? Okay, so you've got like a PCI Express ribbon cable that goes through that central hub.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see that case because it's definitely an interesting case.
Right.
It's unique. It reminds me of like some of the in-win cases that they've come out with, where you're just like, wow, that's random, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't buy one, but it's kind of cool to see some of the
it's kind of a showpiece
built into it. Yeah, but all right. So CyberPower's Trinity,
yes.
but it is cool to see that at least they're actually selling those. It's not just like something they were showing at CES to get eyeballs or whatever.
Right. So we'll see how that does. And next up, okay, so by the way, that was the only story, the only good story that Paul left me with this week.
Sorry.
He preempted me, and this morning I get to his house and he's like, so I've already got like 5 or 6 stories, so you're gonna have to like just find scraps for yourself.
Which is because last week Kyle did the same. No, 2 weeks ago Kyle did the same thing to me.
He makes it sound so much worse than it
this
is.
was the other. This was the other.
He took all the good stories, so the next 2 stories that I have are gonna suck. So if you guys just tune out right now, I won't blame you.
Fuller House.
Netflix. They are rebooting. I'm sort of ashamed to even be reporting on this.
Why? How is this associated with awesome hardware, Kyle?
Because, media, man.
Because it's... I'm sure they're going to use technology. It's Netflix. Netflix uses computers.
Yes.
To distribute their...
They do.
Content.
That's true. Okay, this is really all Paul left me with. Netflix reboots the Full House series with an original series.
They have a sentiment score. What does that even mean?
I was very curious about that as
People
well.
who have reacted positively.
But for those of you who grew up in the 90s, like I did, on 90s television, you probably remember a little sitcom. No, what was it? Not a sitcom.
Who's this guy on the far right? I don't remember him at all.
A little show called Full House.
That guy looks like a creeper.
It was about a single dad. His name was Bob Saget, raising 3 girls.
He's wearing a button-up shirt that the color can only be described as salmon.
And John Stamos being John Stamos.
That's John Stamos over there.
Yep.
You probably recognize John Stamos because he has not changed at all.
He looks exactly the same.
He looks exactly the same. It's like John Stamos and Slater, AC Slater.
They found the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
And they're just hoarding it for themselves.
I hate those guys.
Greedy bastards. But anyway, this show is coming back in a strange way. In a strange way, this show is going to be getting a reboot
on Netflix.
From Netflix. It's going to reunite former cast members Candace Cameron Brewer, who was a DJ. I think DJ is the one on the right. I think she was the eldest daughter.
Do you want me to point out who's who?
Jodie Sweetin.
DJ's right here.
Who's Stephanie Tanner, which is her
Stephanie. She's
sister.
the younger one.
And Andrea Barber, or Kimmy Gibbler, which is the friend, DJ's friend that's in the middle there.
Gibbler, she's right in the middle.
She was the annoying neighbor.
Stephanie had a fantastic resting bitch face. I will say that.
Stephanie. Oh yes,
Stephanie Tanner. Like when she was pissed, like
she did it well.
I'm
not gonna f with that chick.
Stephanie at all.
So and now we get to see them all grown up, and now she'll have a perma bitch face as well. And that as well. It'll be more believable.
Now, some obvious questions come to mind here because the cast that has been confirmed here, because John Stamos is producing the thing, right?
He is, and he'll be in it as well,
and he's going to be starring in it. Yep. But now the people who haven't been mentioned is going to be Bob Saget, obviously.
Yes.
Now Bob Saget is one of those characters for me. Like I grew up, I saw some of your Full House there, and Bob Saget had this like it was weird. People had this opinion of him,
right?
That he was this like. Really goody-goody,
guy.
wholesome, like the dad on Full House.
Yeah.
What they didn't realize is that he's a comedian who had a career prior to Full House and continued his career afterwards, who's actually hilarious. He's freaking hilarious, if you guys don't mind some crude humor. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's awesome because he went from being like this really wholesome character to like some of his stand-up and stuff started coming out, especially as the internet grew, after Full House and everything like that.
You got a little Charlie Sheen-ish.
You got a little Charlie Sheen, but yeah, he's freaking awesome, and I feel like the way people identify him is really swung from the wholesome side to the like he's freaking funny, but man, he makes some pretty
terrible
out
jokes.
There, terrible like crude jokes.
They did a roast of him on Comedy Central.
Yeah, they roasted him on.
They
Comedy
only roast
Central,
terrible people, so.
But I'm happy to see it come back. So yeah, what they're talking about is the kind of some of the well-known characters here, like Mary-Kate and Ashley, for example, as well as Bob Saget.
Right.
are still maybe
Up in
going
the
to be
air.
coming in as guest stars. So that'd
Right.
be kind of cool.
I think the Olsen twins are obligated to come in and do a few episodes just to redeem that haircut. You see right
The
there.
saga of the Olsen twins is
not
also
okay.
one of those really weird things I remember growing up.
Yeah.
They had like these countdown timers to when they turned 18 and all this creepy stuff like that.
That's
So
really
I don't
weird.
know. That's yeah. Okay, but let's move on from the Full House story.
Let's move on. Okay.
We got one more good one here. For you guys.
Again, Paul didn't leave me with jack shit on this episode. He literally left me with garbage.
Which is why we're discussing. So TechCrunch was hacked. Some hacker went into
DDoS.
went into TechCrunch and replaced all of their actual pictures with these horrendous
GIFs
GIF
of
images
Beyonce wearing a gold smartwatch from Apple. Oh wait, this isn't. They didn't get hacked. This is actually the article that TechCrunch uploaded themselves.
I'm gonna scroll down.
Yes, I was convinced that
I can't keep that there anymore.
I was convinced the site was under attack, but needless to say, that ploy actually got me to click the article.
It did?
It did. I was like, oh, what is this seizure that I'm
I saw the words Beyonce and Apple, and I was like, I'm not clicking this article because they'll record that I clicked it, and they'll think to themselves, people are interested in
But
this.
see, it was going to give me a seizure, and since it was everywhere on the site, the only way to get rid of it was to click the actual article, and then rid myself of the GIF.
There's more annoying GIF images on the article. That didn't... You're
No, because
what's the point here, Kyle? Why have you brought this to people's attention?
The point is that she's wearing an 18-karat gold Apple Watch.
And no one else can buy it, right?
And no one else can buy it.
It's made
the only
specially
one.
for Beyonce.
Apple hit her up and was like, hey, Beyonce, you want to wear this watch? And she's like, oh, what does time mean? And then she started wearing an Apple Watch. But I'm just saying this is something we have to look out for. This is something that we have to be... This is something we have to be prepared for.
For what?
Because now we're going to start seeing a plethora of different Apple Watch variants worn by fashion-forward celebrities that are either paid to wear it or sponsored to wear it or just given the damn thing because they are who they are. And we're going to have to see Apple Watches everywhere, whether we like it or not. It's no longer hipsters. You see this? It's transcended from just being hipsters wearing things and using Apple devices to celebrities, which are very...
So all right. So
everywhere.
So that is a thing, and clearly it's happening now, and it might continue to happen. So how can we fight this? What we need?
That is why I'm turning to our audience to find out how it can be stopped, and why, and basically what do you think about this turning point for Apple? Because this is
turning point.
This is kind of a turning point for them.
Why is it a turning point?
Well, because they're switching over from selling tech hardware as a commodity to tech hardware as a luxury piece.
You know what I realized? We never turned that light on.
So I've just been in the dark this whole time?
I mean, it looks okay over here, but I just pulled up the stream.
Looks like a Tech Syndicate video.
Yeah, it looks like it's like
We're like dark and ominous.
It's like a Tech Syndicate video.
I love it.
It's alright, we can turn that on for my half of the show. Speaking
I
of...
hate you. Wait, okay. So
do you have more? You have more stuff?
I do have more, but I'm gonna end it right now because we're on like an hour and a half.
Yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna shut up now.
Okay.
But thank you guys for bearing with me. That's the end of my segment and my half of the show. If you guys want to stay tuned, which hopefully you do, Paul's segment is coming up right now. We're gonna cut really quick and we're gonna jump back onto his half of the show, and he's got a few more segments for you guys. It's going to be really sweet. But thank you guys so much for watching this half of the show. Please subscribe to both of our channels if you haven't already. Awesome Sauce Network, Paul's Hardware. Check out our store for shirts. We've got a lot of good stuff there. And we love you.
I agree with everything that's been said here.
Yes,
absolutely.
We'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Yep.